off the Florida Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Jamaica, I wanna take you on Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego. Hey, we wanna take you down to Kokomo. We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down in Kokomo. We'll put out to sea and we'll perfect our chemistry. By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and moonlit nights. That dreamy look in your eye gives me a tropical contact high. Down in Kokomo, Jamaica, I wanna take you from Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego. Hey, we wanna take you down to Kokomo. We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down to Kokomo.
And now, to entertain you tonight with a gala discussion and a recording session, Matt and Greg and the fabulous Beach Boys talk.
Beach Boys, we're talking Beach Boys, Beach Boys, we're talking Beach Boys, Beach Boys, we're talking Beach.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beach Boys Talk. Brother Matt, how you doing? You in the house?
I'm here, Brother Greg. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I want to say hi to all of our friends out there. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you so much. Every Tuesday night for the past few years, we do this show. Matt, I was just kind of having a moment where I remembered that Fred Vale does the intro to our show in the
right.
style that he did it at the 1964 concert in Sacramento. And so some things you just you get used to because we've been doing the show for so long. But man, what an honor to have Fred do our intro for us. What a great guy. Hope he's doing well. It's just a cool thing, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
overlook it now because it's part of the
know.
show, but that's a big deal. Anyway,
It's true.
yeah. Welcome, everybody. This is a live show. It means it's happening right now, dedicated to our favorite band, the Beach Boys. Right, Brother Matt?
That's right. My brother and I have been doing the show for a few years now. We don't claim to be musicologists, even Beach Boys historians, experts, but we are huge fans of the Beach Boys, and we have been our whole lives. And we just look at this as a place where we can come and talk about our favorite band with all of you out there who love the Beach Boys just as much as we do. And we got something a little bit different going on tonight.
Yeah.
Greg and I do this show. We're one of the only live streams about the Beach Boys. I don't know if we're the only one. We're one of the only ones, but there's a lot of other content creators out there.
Yeah.
And, so we're going to have some of them on tonight just to talk about what they're doing with the Beach Boys, what we see for the future. And tonight we're going to have Melanie from Instagram.
That's right. Yeah, Melanie. And
we're going to have Giggins, who's a friend of the show.
Giggins.
We've had him on a couple times. And we're going to have on Wyatt Funderburk, who not only does the brilliant podcast, the Sail On podcast, but he also is in an awesome tribute band called Sail On. So we're excited and this is part 1 of 2. Next week we will have different guests, which I will not say now, but this is part 1 of 2, correct, Greg?
That's right. And just so, Melanie is a amazing Instagrammer. Like her content is so great. And not just Beach Boys related. She kind of branches off to kind of the whole vinyl 60s, 70s rock kind of vibe, and she's really fantastic. And you can find her. I think it's Your Summer Dream, but we'll get all the information for everybody. But yeah, the idea is that there are people out there way cooler than we are, and we're like, we need to get them out there because over the past few years, Matt and I know we've both noticed that there has been an uptick in just fantastic creators, people coming out of the woodwork. I know Giggins has been doing this for a long time, but we were just turned on to him relatively recently, and just there's people doing great things. Next week we're gonna have Steve Lewis on, the basement
Beach
stuff.
Boys basement, right?
Yeah, just really great stuff that if you don't know about, you should know about, and hopefully the next couple shows will help get you guys wise to their creations. But everybody, we are live right now, meaning we have the chat right over here, and can I reach over to my brother? No, I can't. No, over here. This is all live right now. So Whitney Roth is saying hi to Carol right now. Joe Winters. Up what, Greg? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Do stop that, Joe. Stop it. Stop it. Kylie's in the house.
I pointed the wrong way.
Hey, I see Darren's in there. Carol, Stacy, all of our good friends. Hey, Gail. We hope you're all doing well. We're so happy to see you. But Matt, we have some things to take care of. First of all, we have a couple. Well, before we get to that, why don't we, Matt? I have to give a special thank you to Connie Barber, and I don't know if Connie's on tonight, and if she's not, somebody let her know. But Connie sent me this really cool Billy.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too. Yeah.
Oh, you did? You didn't tell me about that.
I know we haven't talked in a while. I've been biz, but I got one to you.
I've been biz. Did you just say that?
Sorry.
When I see you next, I'm gonna slap you in the face. I've been biz. Are you too lazy just to say busy?
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. I'm disappointed in you. Connie sent us these amazing Billy Hinchy. What were these called? License plate.
Hey, Mom.
What are these called, Matt?
Yeah, you put them around the license plate. Like
I know, but what do you call them?
Frame, a license plate frame.
License plate frame, and they say positivity, and says Billy Hinchy. How cool is this? How great is that?
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
Everybody should have one of these on the back of their car, and I'm definitely going to put one of these on mine. So I'm really, really excited. So huge thank you, and we love you to Connie. Thank you. That's very,
absolutely.
very thoughtful.
Thank you so much.
And these will go. I can't decide whether or not, Matt, I want to put this on the car, or maybe I can mount it somewhere for the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking about with some of the cool Billy Hinchy stuff I have. I might keep it with that.
That's a good idea.
Memorabilia. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And Greg, while we're on thank yous, I also want to reiterate this.
Oh man, what a fantastic gift that was from our very good friend of the show, Phyllis. Phyllis is on with us
tonight. So
hey,
Phyllis, I wanted to say,
Phyllis.
Thank you so much. This was really something special. Greg and I will cherish, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Pacific Ocean Blue, which we're going to talk about a little bit is the anniversary of that tonight. But also, if you look here, I didn't realize this till now. This is a promo copy that's autographed by Dennis Wilson.
Yeah, pretty insane.
So
Pretty
that was
insane,
among
yeah.
records. Phyllis gave Greg and I a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank you for your kindness and thinking of us. We will take care of that. I promise you. It's in good hands. And it's quite a neat thing to see, Dennis Wilson's own hand, since he's been passed on for so long. It's pretty neat. So
it's so neat. These things get passed along, and it's like all the stuff that we've gotten for over the past few years with the show. We're just kind of humble custodians of this stuff.
Yeah.
Where the idea is, pass it along and let other people share a little bit of it, because we've got some great stuff, because we've got wonderful folks over here in the chat that are so sweet. So Phyllis, from the bottom of our hearts,
thank you. And Phyllis, a lot of people want to know, and they asked when I posted it on Facebook how you got that. So if you feel like posting that on our group, or if you want to even do it tonight, that would be great. Or if you want to wait till we talk, and I can pass it on.
And,
but people want to know how you got that.
Well,
so.
And I don't know if everybody knows this, but Phyllis is kind of a big deal. I think I could be wrong, but I believe she was the head of a Beach Boy fan club in Chicago. I'm not 100% sure on that, because but we've talked a couple times. Phyllis is wonderful. We're so grateful for her being a fan of the show, a friend of the show. And,
amazing
awesome.
stuff, Phil.
Yeah.
So there was also a Pet Sounds and original Pet Sounds, an original Beach Boys concert album. There's a Carl Wilson solo album, and I think there might be a few more. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Really cool.
Matt, it's we've celebrating a couple birthdays today. Number one is David Marks. So happy birthday to David Marks. Can we sing happy birthday to David?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
He played on that record, so I thought that was
Cuckoo. That's the one. He also played a little Skippy.
it's true. Fair enough.
Or
My bad.
There's a world where
Yeah, okay, I got you.
yeah, every other song except that's like the last song I would go to. But happy birthday to David Marks. In my opinion, and this is just a humble Beach Boy fan's opinion, very underappreciated member of the band.
As they say, the Lost Beach Boy, our friend John Stebbins wrote a great book about him. If you can, but
we could go off on a whole tangent on this, Matt.
I don't know if we'll have time tonight, but that was going to be my many moods was happy birthday to David. I also wanted to say, and you might have had this one too, Greg, but happy birthday to our friend Jimmy Beige, who's always a part of our show. It's his birthday today too. I don't know if he's here tonight.
David?
I hope you're not here tonight, Jimmy. I hope you're out there partying for your birthday, but happy birthday, buddy.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Jimmy.
Happy
Jimmy.
birthday, dear Jimmy.
Happy
birthday to you.
Did you ever hear that early one from the box set? It was on that little CD, and they said,
it's great.
"Happy birthday."
One of my favorite.
Yeah,
Matt. One of my favorite Beach Boy releases of all time ever. Do you guys remember the 30th anniversary box set? And it had that little bonus disc.
Yeah.
Dude, that bonus disc was
had Hushabye live on
as
there.
The kids say, as the kids say, fire, dude. It was that bonus disc. Do you guys remember that bonus disc?
And remember they had the 1964 Hushabye from Sacramento on there. I remember that,
dude. That bonus disc was absolutely mind blowing. And then Matt, a happy birthday to Pacific Ocean Blue, right?
Yes. And we wanted to recognize this. Some people asked why we didn't do the show about it. Sometimes the shows, you got to put dates in, and it just happens that way. But look, Dennis Wilson. I was going to rant again on why the Beach Boys did solo albums in 1977. Why Dennis did that when the Beach Boys put out "Love You" and 15 Big Ones, when there was so much high quality music on this album. Dennis put out such songs like Pacific Ocean Blue, River Song. Rainbows, and then this one, Greg, that I know you like a lot.
I'm gonna
You
sing
and
a
I.
little bit of it. You ready?
Yeah. So happy birthday to Pacific Ocean Blue. Thank you, Dennis, for the music.
This is
Thank you, Phyllis,
this is
again.
my favorite track off of currently my favorite track off of Pacific Ocean Blue. I hope you like a little. We're gonna do a little.
By the way, Bobby Figueroa played on this one. Awesome, Bobby. If you're out there, thank you for that, Bobby.
Never see the light that people talk about. You open up my wallet and the dust falls out, and that's alright with me. Cause the songs that I sing won't be blue. Ooh, yeah, honey, you and I. No more lonely nights. Never make the headlines on the evening news. There won't be a richest story for me. But the songs that I sing won't be blue. Ooh, yeah, honey, you and I. No more lonely nights. No more lonely nights. No
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
See, the Wave said
Nice
David
tune.
Marks
Nice tune.
performed this at the Beach Boys monument unveiling. That's cool. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
I did not know that. How cool is that? Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, Matt. I think some of our guests are here, so I am
All
so
right.
excited to welcome them on. All right, here we go. Let's see. We have.
Says this song was used in an HBO show a few years back called The Divorce. Well, thank you for that, Jay McLean. I did not, and welcome. I haven't seen that name before.
That's kind of depressing.
I know.
Hey guys. Hey Melanie. Hey Giggins.
Hey, Giggins.
Oh, it's
Hey.
a party. I love this.
Woo!
All right, I gotta make you guys bigger. Hold on.
Hello, everybody.
Make
Hi,
it
how's it
big.
going?
Hello, Melanie. I'm Matthew. Nice to meet you.
So big.
Nice meeting you.
All right.
I love that song so much, like
Oh,
unabashedly.
Yeah.
Make it big.
Me-
That is
me
classic
too,
Carl.
me too.
So good.
It's like Van Halen, Beach Boy style. You
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of
Hey,
is.
Wyatt.
know?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you perfect.
Awesome. What's up?
Hello,
Hey.
hello.
This is the best. Okay, I'm gonna try and make you guys a little bit bigger. So hold on, give me a moment. Nope, that's not the one.
Oh, boy.
Let's do that. Make it big.
Hey, Wyatt. How you
Should
doing,
turn
man?
this sideways. What's up? How are you?
All right.
Awesome. Everybody, if you could please help me
Do
welcome
this.
in the chat. We have Melanie, Your Summer Dream on Instagram. We have Giggins, of course, from YouTube and everywhere fame, because whatever, and his coloring book, which is awesome. And, of course, Wyatt from Sail On, both the podcast and the incredible Beach Boys cover band. Guys, thanks for taking the time tonight, right? We're so excited. We're so
Thanks
excited
for having
to
me.
talk with you. Oh, yeah. You know, I thought it might be a fun way to kind of kick off the show to have each of you kind of tell us a little bit, just a hint about yourself, kind of your Beach Boy kind of deal, and then where like we can find you and kind of what you've been up to. So let's start with Melanie. Can we start with you? Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, I'll kick it off. So my Beach Boy kind of deal is that I'm just a super fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love them so much unabashedly, and I like to spread the gospel of the Beach Boys. So in any way that I possibly can.
Yeah, let's go.
So social media is my forte in that aspect. I have an Instagram, Your Summer Dream, your underscore summer dream underscore. But what I do is, I mean, I do post a lot about the boys. I like to post about the memorabilia I find and all the records I have. I collect a lot of records, and so
Sure.
that's like one of my areas of it. Also, I like to do fun little silly things. Like I really love vintage clothing, and I did this project a couple years ago where I dressed up like every album cover that they ever released. So I would like pose with the album and like match my outfit to it, and that was kind of like a fun thing to do. So that's the kind of nonsense you'll find if you follow me.
Well, I'll speak for everybody where it's not nonsense. It is awesome. It is so
Thank you.
cool.
Thank
I
you.
love,
I appreciate
love
that.
following you. Yeah, if you're not well, one, if you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, make sure you follow Melanie. She's got some fantastic content. And okay, great. Hey, Giggins, you want to skip over to Giggins here? Giggins, do you want to? I mean, I think a lot of folks, because you've been on the show before, but why don't you kick it off there, buddy?
Hi, it's me, Giggins. I'm that guy on
Hi.
YouTube who talks with the Beach Boys all the time. Yeah, no, I'm Giggins. I do a lot with the Beach Boys stuff, posting records and reviews, and just recently helped make the first coloring book with them, which was an absolute thrill to do. So they've been a part of my DNA forever, but yeah, I love just like Melanie said, spreading the gospel of the Beach Boys, making sure that we're all keeping the summer alive and everyone enjoys them for years to come and no one forgets about them. So it's a great community to be a part of, and just really honored to be hanging out with you guys. And just a side note, Melody, it's cool to hear your voice. I've never heard your voice before. It's
I
really
know, right? I don't post a lot of videos. I get shy, but yeah, here I am.
it's very good to be with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Giggins. And last but not least, of course, Wyatt Funderburk. Wyatt, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, and I am the least, of course, in
No.
this situation.
Oh,
But thank you
no.
guys
You sing
for
Brian
asking me.
once.
And I love all you guys so much. So it's great to be here with you guys. And man, I just I've been on the show before, so maybe people know my story, but I've been a Beach Boys fan my whole life, and I was looking for a Beach Boys podcast one day, and what I was looking for didn't exist, and I just decided to do it. And it took me like 3 or 4 years to actually figure out how to do it. And then I just did it, and then people started listening to it, and here we are now. So that's about it. And yeah, I started also at the same time doing a Beach Boys tribute band that uh, started about the same time. I guess it was 6 years ago. So still going, super busy. It's been great. Allowed me to meet Matt and Giggins, and
Yeah.
I got to go out and meet Melanie in person as well a couple of years ago. So it's been awesome. Got to travel a lot and meet great people.
I love
Well,
it.
your band's great and your podcast is awesome too. I can
Yeah.
I can
Thank you.
vouch for the band since I was waiting for y'all to come back to that little place again. So maybe you still will sometime.
podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the place. Where it was in Iowa.
It was
Where
in like
it?
little tiny
Nebraska?
town in Iowa. Yeah. And it was
Iowa. Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Well,
remember
it was-
either, but it was
oh, I
fun.
remember now. Corning, Iowa.
Yeah, yeah,
Morning.
That's right.
Melanie, have you seen Sail On yet? Have you
I
seen
have not. They won't come to California. How
We
dare you?
won't. Yeah.
Wait.
No, we do, but it's like middle of nowhere.
I
usually.
know. I'm in
we were
Northern
there
California.
like a month. We were there like a month ago at Redlands, which is like
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour outside of LA.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
And,
Melanie,
way up north.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully one day we'll get to the Bay
One
Area,
day.
but
it's okay,
Yeah.
Melanie. I haven't seen him yet either. So don't feel
Oh,
we're
okay.
both in that camp together. Hopefully,
I did get to hang out with Wyatt though, and that was
Someday.
fantastic.
Oh man,
so,
I'm
It
jealous.
was-
I'm jealous of that.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
it
Time.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to meet Wyatt after a Sail On show in the most random town in Virginia. It was just middle of nowhere.
But that's the only places we play.
That's
I
what it was
know.
like in Iowa too. Yeah.
It was like a school. I don't remember where it was, what town it was, but it was like
Don't
the
either.
least place you'd think you'd see a cool band like that. And so it was great to chat and hang out with you, man. At that time,
Why
Dude.
is it the kind of thing when you guys are planning out your tours? It's like if the town has a Walmart supercenter, it's out, kind of thing. It's like no,
Yeah,
there's a
we're more of a-
Walmart. We
yeah.
got to go to a different place.
We're more of on the Dollar General circuit.
That's great.
Food
That's
Lion
great.
or Kroger. Yeah.
Oh,
Food
yeah.
Lion.
Yeah.
Hey, Wyatt, John Butler was with me at that show, and he's right. It was
Yeah.
Corning, Iowa. He said birthplace of Johnny Carson. So next time you
Yeah,
guys
that's
come,
right.
you got to play Johnny Carson. Throw that into
After
your
the
your set.
show-
Oh,
Yeah, after the show, I said the same thing, and we like drove by his childhood home, and I was
Oh,
like,
cool.
next time we're doing Johnny Carson.
That's
That's
nice.
It won't happen, but I'd love to.
That's good. So, well, hey guys, we have a bunch of questions kind of prepared for you, and I think they're fun questions because I think a lot of them focus on kind of what the future holds. I've been so excited with, the three of you and what a lot of the other creators on the internet have been able to come up with, from a Beach Boys standpoint. It's really exciting. Who would have thought 10 years ago that, we'd have a Beach Boy coloring book, or stuff like that. But I think like that all comes from your individual minds, your individuality, your creativeness. Like you are so creative in your own way, and I think that's such a unique, fun thing for our community. So I want to go through. We're gonna go through each one, and my brother and I are gonna ask you some questions, and we'll just kind of shoot the breeze, have some fun here. But I think folks listening in, and as I know Matt and I, we're real excited to hear some of your answers on it because you guys are on the. You're all around the forefront of this whole thing. I mean, you're the ones representing the brands. I think it's cool. So let's start here. First question would be, let's start with this one, kind of reminiscing about the past a little bit here. And let's start with Melanie. We'll keep kind of going. Melanie, what has kind of excited you the most over the past few years, 5 years or so, about the Beach Boys, either the community or like any releases? What's gotten you excited recently?
Well, recently, just like being in the fandom for so long and seeing kind of the fan base, I think recently I have been really excited about the diversity of the fans. For me, it was always like just the one token Black girl who likes the Beach Boys. That was always kind of like, it's like record scratch. I walk into somewhere with like a Beach Boys record and people are like, what? But I feel like, yeah, what's happening?
Yeah.
But I do like that now, I feel like in the past few years, the new releases and the social media account kind of taking a 180 and becoming actually pretty cool. It's it's got a bigger bandwidth now. So I feel like it's reaching people that it didn't reach before.
Mhm.
And I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think that people seeing me and being on the Sail On podcast and all that stuff, like people knowing who I am, I've gotten a lot of people who've contacted me and been like, oh my God, I'm a person of color and I love the Beach Boys. And
Yeah.
I never saw that represented before. And I'm like, inclusion matters. So, it's really nice. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Also, in the same token, like the younger generation are really getting into them, which I think is fantastic. It's like, we have all this, like, we think about the Beach Boys and it's like, oh, they just sing about cars and girls and it's really cheesy or whatever. But now with these like new releases coming out and these kids coming up and listening to it, they're hearing things like Holland and Surfs Up, and they're like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting. And so it's really nice to see like the younger kids kind of take it and fly. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Oh, okay. This is why we did this. This is awesome, Melanie. I'm so excited. That was an awesome answer, and I feel the same way. I'm pretty excited about that as well. So okay, Giggins, how about you, man? What's most excited you over the past few years or so about maybe I keep saying the few years, but the most recent past. What's gotten you excited?
The biggest thing has been the Irving Azoff buying what's these I can't think of the name of the company right now. That owns the Beach Boys. Well, I can't think of the name. What's the name, guys?
Iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic buying the Beach Boys name and catalog has been the best thing that's happened to them in terms of marketability, because like they had zero internet presence at all.
Right.
The only thing keeping them alive were us, people talking about the Beach Boys, and like, a lot of us grew up in the 90s. The Beach Boys weren't cool in the 90s. Like growing up, you got made fun of for liking the Beach Boys. And like I know from experience.
Same.
You guys do too.
Yeah.
I remember going through all high school and college and be like, have you heard Smiley Smile? You'd be like, I'm not listening to the Beach Boys. And now like, all those kids are like, hey, have you heard the Beach Boys? Like, yeah, dude. So like it's really great to see. It's great to see someone care about this band, because they've never been held in the same regard as like the Beatles or the Stones, where like, that's always been pushed so heavily with reissues over and over again and like different mixes and this and that. So to see these big box sets come out, to see their social media presence take on like Melanie said, a complete 180, where like they're making new videos for songs that never had songs, and they're telling story arcs, and they have, just a world view that's it's so fun to watch. And seeing them reach out to content creators has been the most impressive thing, because that's how you spread your message.
Sure.
So like, a handful of us have helped out with promotions for different stuff over the last couple of years. And it's been really cool to work with them. So like, it's great that they're recognizing the fans have an impact. And I love watching them grow, because they're actually doing things really, really well. And these new box sets have helped tremendously to keep the band alive. And they're doing weird box sets. Like they didn't just take out Pet Sounds and do another Pet Sounds, or they started with Sunflower and then did Holland, and like they're really doing a good job. So that's my long-winded answer, is that like I love that they're caring more and they want the fans to be part of that.
Well, and part of it too, Melanie, you kind of brought it up too. It's like, I think it's nice being a Beach Boy fan and not feeling like you need to be the only advocate out there for the band. It's like
absolutely
you don't feel alone anymore. You're like, oh, finally the guns are firing from the Beach Boys side. It's like, finally, where have you guys been? Because I've been made fun of for the past 25, 30 years of my life.
I still get made fun of.
Yeah, it's like and not even made fun of, just like, there's just not a whole lot of other help there. You felt like, and you all have done such a great job of it. It probably feels nice to have some backup now from the actual brand. So cool.
Been friends now for so many years.
Yeah. Wyatt, how about you? Have an interesting perspective being in the band and the podcast. What's excited you most about what's been going on in the Beach Boy world?
Man, it's twofold, because it's like I'm excited about the things that I care about personally, like the archival releases and stuff like that. I get really pumped about that, regardless of my interaction with the fans or meeting people. But then there's also meeting people like you guys, and meeting people that are younger than me that are really excited about the Beach Boys music. And whether it be like through the podcast or like at our concerts, I'll meet people that are, I'll see like a few people in the crowd, like when I saw Matt, and I was like, that guy is half the age of everyone in here. He's got to be a podcast listener, So they stick out like a sore thumb. But it's so cool to meet people and know that there's a new generation of Beach Boys fans, and that really excites me. And knowing that at least there's some in some way the music's going to live on, and like the stuff that we care about.
Yeah.
And it's not our generation, it's our parents' generation. It's like we're
Crazy,
doing that
right?
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing that, so it's like that's exciting. And then like to see that skipping a generation, and we are the Kokomo generation. I mean, like that's our legacy, like whether we like it or not, like that's our era.
Full
So
out.
like being able to completely, like see this new generation come to it is really exciting.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys, not to like get into any negative stuff, but like there's a lot of like when I was getting into the Beach Boys and trying to like explore online communities and stuff, there's a lot of negativity. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that are curmudgeons and gatekeepers and stuff like that.
Sure.
And you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And it turned me off. And I was like, I don't really want to be part of this. Like,
Yeah.
and it was also what inspired me years and years later to try and do something of my own, because I just thought it wasn't being represented correctly. And I wasn't like saying that I'm the savior or anything like that. I just knew that the voice that I wanted to hear wasn't being, amplified.
Yeah.
And now it is. Like, thankfully, all you guys are doing it. Like, I couldn't be happier, with this group of people. But like, it's just awesome to see people that are doing it for the right reasons, and really celebrate the music the way it should be. And it's gonna reflect the brand. Like, it's gonna be great for the band and the legacy of the band for years and years, because I think we're showing people what's so beautiful and great about their music.
Oh man, a great answer. Yeah, no, I love that. So yeah, so kind of speaking on that, 10 years down the line, where do y'all figure, where's this going to be? Because having core members pass away, right? I mean, it's going to happen at some point. Where do you how much weight do you think that has? Not to get too morbid, but really, where do you see? You look at the Beatles brand, and they've done I feel like they've done over the top crazy job of everywhere I go, music related, the Beatles are overrepresented, or they're never underrepresented, right? So let's start with Wyatt and go back around. But where do you kind of see things in the next the next 10 years from now? Where do you hope, or where do you see kind of things going? Because without the live concerts anymore, I mean, obviously Sail On will be playing forever and ever, but without the original members like Mike,
I don't know about that.
Mike, yeah.
I'm getting up there too.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
spring chicken.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I love playing shows and stuff, but yeah, I don't know how Mike, at 82 years old or whatever, like is still doing it. It's incredible. Like, say what you will about their performance quality or anything like that. Like, a lot of guys just don't do it, and they can't do it. And I don't know. I don't want to ever like say like that in 10 years, like there's not going to be a Beach Boys, because like Mike Love will prove us wrong. He will, to his dying breath, he
Like
will
a
be on
cyborg.
stage.
Yeah.
I think we'll be surprised, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think like part of me like sees like this transition, like as far as like the band and like the live show, like to like Christian Love, and like honestly, like whether you like it or not, like that's probably going to be the Beach Boys at some point. It's going to be Christian
Interesting.
Love and these guys, because like why else like incorporate so much of your own family and stuff into it? It's a great way to do it, but I do think that they're setting up for some sort of legacy act that is centered around Christian and possibly like some of the other Beach Boys family members. I don't know if the rest of the guys' kids would be interested in that, but maybe. I don't know. Al's band with his family and the Wilson sisters and all that is pretty awesome. I love that, and that's a great way to celebrate the legacy, whether it's called the Beach Boys or not. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I thought 10 years ago that we were at the end of the Beach Boys era, live and stuff, and Brian, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll go on another 10 years. I don't know.
Wow.
But
Yeah, what a fantastic answer. I didn't even think about them putting together some sort of legacy act, but it makes sense. And you're right, they've kind of been building towards that. I think the question is, will people pay money to?
They
what
did.
capacity
I mean,
will people do that?
That's a whole thing. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, like in our tribute band, because like, it affects us personally too. Like if we're going to play shows like in places and we are going to expect people to come see us. The reason we play in these tiny towns is because the Beach Boys don't go there. So,
Right.
I mean, we can't play in major cities because the Beach Boys play there all the time. The Beach Boys are like one of the, most active touring bands in the world. Like they're always playing.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting to think about, but like, there's going to be a gap there. There's going to be a hole there if the Beach Boys stop playing. And like, there will be, tribute bands and stuff like that will take up that mantle. Cause look at like Fleetwood Mac and Chicago, those tribute bands are massive. I mean, they play like 5,000 seat venues and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for them and it's great. I mean, people get to relive their childhood and their memories with those bands and stuff. So who knows?
Yeah. I suppose it's all about branding in a way. Just how do you position it in the market, and what's the execution like? It's gonna be that's a really interesting answer, Wyatt.
Just to add to that, I know it was just 2012, and it was, maybe it's because some of the Beach Boys, they're still alive, but remember they had that California Saga, all those family members that got together and played. It was Carney and Wendy. And
they picked
one of Carl's sons,
they picked the worst song in the Beach Boy catalog,
and Matt Jardine, and anyway, that was all like the Beach Boys kids together. That would be kind of neat to see in the future, But what might be keeping that all together right now is the fact that they're they're still surviving. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Giggins, next 10 years, what where do you see things headed?
I mean, I'll continue with what Wyatt said. Like, I do see them continuing. It's a bizarre concept to think of a world without any living Beach Boys in it.
Crazy.
That this doesn't make any sense to my brain. But like, the Beach Boys have always been a family band. Like as early on as like, Sunflower and stuff. You hear their kids in the background or starting off the Trader or whatever. Like they've always had an element of family because they are a family. So
yeah, sure.
I do see Christian carrying on the torch of the Beach Boys name, and it'd be cool if he incorporated other Beach Boys kids and kept it going, because I think people would pay for that, and like you said, like, tribute bands, like there's a bunch of Beatles tribute bands and they play big venues and they make good money doing it. Like people want to hear music performed well by bands that don't exist anymore. And if you can have that's why people love Sail On. Like you can hear a really tight group playing these songs that, maybe a few of them aren't done by the touring Beach Boys. But as far as non-live performances, like, one of the cool things about Iconic is they want to branch out and make the Beach Boys name as marketable as a Beatles would be.
Sure.
Where you can go to Target and buy a Beach Boys shirt or a poster.
Yeah.
And they're branching out to other creators to help with that, like Fantunes who did the coloring book. Like they're starting to do things they haven't done before.
Yeah.
So they understand that like this is a really important, I hate to use the word commodity, but like this is a money making machine that they don't want to have dry up once they all die.
Yeah.
Because this is how businesses work. But like they've made such a humongous amount of music that's still marketable. It could be used for TV shows, could be used for commercials, could be used just to buy their albums. And some of their albums still aren't in print. They have
isn't that insane? Sorry, yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up, Giggins, because it's like two pretty decent albums with great tunes on it. It hasn't even it's not even out there. Like Melanie was talking about. Melanie and I both love "Make It Big." Like, how is that song not everywhere? It's a great tune.
I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I started that little Kickstarter, or what it was one of those online petition things that get Still Cruising. Some of my parents backed up, and I got contacts to talk to people who are pretty high up in the thing there.
Really?
And like, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but we're not going to do that.
Oh, man.
I was like, these are albums that are part of their story. It's not like, I know people dog on them, but like, and some of the gatekeepers, like you guys were talking about before, they're like, they're gonna ruin the Beach Boys legacy. I'm like, are they?
Yeah.
Well, you're right about that. We reviewed, I think it was last week, right, Greg? Summer in Paradise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's the same thing. That was what the Beach Boys were doing in the 90s, like it or not. It was part of the big thing is in a 60-year career, it's part of their story.
Yeah.
And there are some nice songs on there, I will say, and so I agree with you on that. Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. People are so quick to be like knee-jerk reactions to stuff because they read it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's why I started doing my videos back in the day, because I was like, everyone's so negative about the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say nice things about the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
It's a great band. So long answer short, long-term goals. There's gonna be way more box sets coming out. There's gonna be way more compilations, I bet.
Yeah.
And their marketability, we're gonna hear different songs used in different places. So 10 years from now, it'll be a whole different experience. And I love seeing the younger people get into it. I love the meme accounts. I love the enthusiasm for the fun of it. They're having fun with the Beach Boys, which is something that I haven't seen in my lifetime until the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Melanie, how about you? Where do you see kind of the Beach Boys, the music, the brand, everything around the community? Where do you see it in 10 years? What do you think?
Well, I can't really say where I think it's gonna go. I mean, that's kind of up in the air. It's like,
sure.
It's hard for me to even think about it because, like you said, we have members who are very old and it's just being a touring band and seeing them live is probably something that's not going to be super feasible. I don't think, at least. And, there is the family element, as we talked about, but I don't see it being a huge draw for a lot of people, especially younger fans who are getting into their music, are not going to be like, let me go see their kids sing some songs. I would, but that's just because, there's gonna, it's just, I don't see that being a widely
Melanie,
spread kind of thing.
I'm with you on that. Totally agree.
But I can, I can say where I would like to see them in 10 years.
All right,
and kind of piggybacking on what Giggins said, kind of about the marketability. Like I'm dreaming big. I want to see, we always talk about the Beatles in conjunction to the Beach Boys. It's like, man, what do they have that like the Beach Boys don't have? It's just like this marketing. It's just like, they have everything. And the Beach Boys, I can't even get a Funko Pop. Like, what is going on here? Like,
thank you.
Right.
I wanted those so bad when we started this show because I'm like, I'm going to have each one of the members on here. Thank you.
It's like little thing. Get it together, guys.
That's
Melanie,
what I want to. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is. You guys are.
Here, hold on.
I don't know what a Funko Pop is. I barely have.
Cute little plastic, like,
stay that way.
Figure type thing.
Stay that way, Matt.
Yeah, I know. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. I have a few.
Rabbit hole.
But if they released the Beach Boys one, I would buy all of them. Like, and I feel like people would. And it's just like, these are things. There you go. See? Imagine that's Brian Wilson. That's adorable.
My favorite Power Ranger Funko Pop.
Brian Wilson. Let me see that thing.
But,
I see. Oh, I've seen those. I didn't know that's what they were called.
Yeah. And they've got bands out there, but they
have
this
a
is
ton
a
of
Funko
bands.
Pop, everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm like, the Beach Boys are pretty big. Like what's going on here?
They could do that in Brian Wilson's like Pet Sounds era, right, with his glasses. And
Oh,
stuff.
How cute would that be? It comes with a giraffe and a goat. I mean,
you could have
that's adorable.
a little zoo set.
Yeah, there you go.
Melanie, you need somebody. Somebody watching, please connect Melanie with the people. Come on, make it happen.
The people in charge of Funko Pop.
Yes.
But
that's such a great idea.
That's what I'm talking about. The little things like that. I want to see a Ken Burns style documentary. I want it to be like 10 parts. I want to see, you know what I mean? I want to see books with unseen photos because I know they're out there and I'm getting really sick of seeing the same photos for the past 10 years. I know they're there. I want to see this. I want an anthology style documentary like the Beatles had. I want a Cirque du Soleil show. I want a jukebox musical like Jersey Boys. That's what I want to see. I want to see
Rainbow's here tonight, Greg. She's got the musical going.
Yeah,
so.
hey,
right?
Yeah.
So that's where I would like to see it. I don't want it to just stop with this, okay, we've released some archives, blah, 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 our social media is doing whatever. I want it to actually reach out and be like, hey, people who've never even heard the Beach Boys or never gave them a second thought, I want it to have a huge reach. And I feel like there's so much possible. So that's my wishful thinking for 10 years. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't have any connections.
I totally forgot about Funko Pops. And I every time I go, I'm like, man, I wish they had Beach Boys. Oh, I'm like starting to think now. You could have like each album, like a smile with like fire and like a fire hat kind of thing.
Fire.
It'd be so cute.
Vegetables.
I know it sounds silly, but honestly, these things are like, you look at these like products and you go, oh, okay, well, there's a Beatles one. There's a Kiss Everything.
Right. A Kiss Everything. Yeah.
I mean, where are my Beach Boys?
I love it.
Like, they have Funko Pops for every member of U2. Like, who?
Yeah, that's insane.
Adam
U2
Blake
sucks.
that.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
yeah.
What's that guy's name? Like one guy has like one. What's his
Bono.
name? The Edge. Bono and the Edge. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
those two make sense. But like,
we don't need that.
Well, so we've talked a lot about the future, what you're excited about that's happening right now, but I just kind of want to go back to the basics a little bit, and I just want to get your opinions on what is the appeal, because you all three of you have mentioned you're happy to see younger people getting into the Beach Boys. Iconic is starting to do more things, but what is he, it's been 60 years. The Beach Boys are still, people know who they are. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have to search in like an encyclopedia and say there was this band in the 60s, and a lot of their music still sounds fresh. What do you think the appeal is that keeps it going for a younger audience? And anybody can start who wants to take that.
Well, for the younger audience, I think that a lot of the younger people that I know that are really into the Beach Boys now kind of gravitate towards their like 70s catalog. Because it is, I feel like everyone's kind of heard the Beach Boys. Like we all know Surfing USA, and that's, been played to death. But when you start to dig and you start to find these things like Holland or Sunflower, that's when it really becomes exciting. And what's special about those albums is that you can hear so much of it echo in the music that's coming out today. So I think that there's like a connection, like a younger person will listen to Tame Impala and then listen to, Sunflower and be like, that's it. Like, or they'll be a Weezer fan and they'll listen to Beach Boys and they'll be like, I get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where it stems from. I think that there's so much, they were so obscure for so long, especially that area of their career, that those musicians, like in those types of bands, sought them out and are using them in their music that the younger kids are into. The younger kids are looking at those bands and going, what influenced them? So I feel like that's kind of how it happened, but I could just be talking nonsense. I don't know.
No, I love that. Gang Giggins, what do you think about what's the appeal of the Beach Boys music today? Like, do you feel like Melanie does? Because I agree with Melanie in that the 70s stuff has been overlooked for so long that it's almost like this new thing that we found, And
well, it's also one of, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's one of those things too. I work at a school and I'll put on, wouldn't it be nice? And the kids smile. It may not be what they listen to. They may say, I've heard this in a movie or something, but there's just something about it, and I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. It seems like that music is more timeless, but anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're cool, man. Honestly, my most simple answer is access to the music. Like when we were growing up, you had to look for these CDs and hope to find the record, and like it was hard to do. Like you'd go to a store and all they would have are 15 copies of a greatest hits album from the Beach Boys. That's all they ever had. It's still to this day almost like that all the time. So now you can pull up Spotify and play any album you want. So it's really cool that people can just discover everything so easily now. Not everything, but a lot of it. So I think access is the biggest thing to do with it. But yeah, it's great to see people like really enjoying the 70s stuff and almost not paying too much attention to the 60s stuff, which is a complete 180.
Right.
But yeah, honestly, I think meme culture helps, as it does with a lot of music. Like spreading ding dang around has been a humongous love you rise in streams. Right. But that's kind of as funky of a way as it is to discover a band. It's kind of awesome because what's this weird song? Oh, it's on this weird album. What else did they do? So it's a rabbit hole that you can go down. So I think access it's just easy to discover stuff now. Like you can think of any band, type it in Spotify, just play it. You don't have to go to the store and hope to find it or order a copy and not get it.
Yeah.
Things are different now than when we were kids, I tell you.
Yeah. Hey, Wyatt, you kind of have an interesting perspective too with the live shows and seeing young folks you kind of mentioned earlier. What do you think the appeal of the music is today? Where do you think that comes from?
I mean, it's good music that isn't hard to listen to. Like when you hear it, it's like, okay, this is pleasant, and there's a lot of variety. And then I think that when you really get into it, you end up like us when you start listening to songs that you relate to. I mean, that's what it was for me. I mean, I always liked the Beach Boys until I was 16, and then I realized all the songs were about me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was like, what is happening? Like this guy is in my brain. Like every song was like a personal song for me all of a sudden, especially like in the mid 60s, era.
Yeah.
That's what made it special. And I think that's what still, when I talk to people and when people write me and that are teenagers, they're always referring to it that way. They're like, man, like when I heard That's Not Me, I just really felt like this was about me and it was about my life. And I just understood what he was going through. And I was like, man, like that's really it. Like that's, and a lot of people come to it from different ways, but I feel like that's the appeal still. I mean, when you find that song or that album that really speaks to you, could be Ding Dang, you know, but it's, for me, it was Pet Sounds and Today, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, these songs are me. And like, for my whole life, it's like, there's a Beach Boys song for any mood that I'm in, happy or sad, that I know is going to make me feel better or affirm what I'm feeling and make me feel that I'm not the only one feeling that way. And I feel like that's, every kid's looking for that. And I think there's a Beach Boys song for every person, you know, like it's that's what's so great about the catalog. It's so vast, and Beatles are the same way. I mean, there's so many different moods and variations on the style that, you know, no matter what you're into, you're probably going to find something eventually that you're going to really resonate with.
I love that. I love that answer. Why it almost makes me frustrated. That answer is like, can we just can that? Can we can that answer and package it and figure something with? But like, it makes me frustrated. And this is coming from, you know, I'm sorry, it's the more negative place, but you know, like we look at some of the more recent releases, and I consider them kind of swing and a miss in terms of your answer. Like the fun. You guys see the fun? Like the Steve, like the DJ kind of like EDM thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like it's almost like someone's in charge that thinks they know kids, but they don't.
A swing
you know
and
what
a
I mean?
miss.
It's like, oh, this is gonna be cool because I think, but it's more, I think, along the lines of what you said. Like we all connected with the music in a very real way, not like an artificial way. You know, I think it's and so that gets a little frustrating when they, and I appreciate them putting the stuff out, but it's like, man, really, like. There's so many other songs besides a remix of Fun that you could have done, but
that's what's so great about it, because honestly, the regular fun you play and it's appealing. It's great. It's got a great storyline. It's got that, you know, iconic Beach Boys. So I appreciate all your answers there, because it really makes a lot of sense.
So Wyatt, let's start with you and work our way back around. Okay, ready? You have a blank check, and the people from Universal and Iconic both come to you and they're like, Wyatt, what's going to be the next thing to really get us, whether it's a Funko Pop or it's a branded basketball court, or I don't know, something, or a new release, a release of this live. What is the next thing that you would do? What, and you had unlimited resources. What do you think the next thing would be? Sorry, this is kind of a more tough one.
You know, I mean, it depends on what the goal is. Am I doing it for myself, or am I doing it for the,
you know what?
the brand itself?
That's perfect. Let's do maybe what would you like to see, and maybe what do you think would hit home? And it's okay if you don't have both answers right now, but either one or both.
I'd like to see one final Beach Boys concert with everybody that's alive.
Oh, cool.
And just be done with it. And let's all just ride off into the sunset and then celebrate that.
Cool.
And make it the biggest spectacle on earth. Like, do it in, you know, LA and New York and Vegas or something like that. You know, do like 3 shows and make it really big and make it really special, and you celebrate all of them. And that would be great. And make it a fan experience, you know, make a whole Beach Boys convention around it. Be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Dude, I think that's a perfect, I mean, because it has to end at some point, right? And you want it to end on a
you don't want it to fizzle out.
Right.
You don't want, you know, God forbid, like somebody pass away, like on tour, and then it's like this weird, you know, it's like, you want it to be, it's like, you know, you want to go out on top, and they're not on top anymore, but you know what I mean? Like you don't want to go out, you want to go out in a blaze of glory.
Now,
you know?
I think I still say this, but I think one of those, like the moment for me, live music wise, although this last Mike Love concert I went to was pretty awesome, but the 50th anniversary shows, like I don't know if you all went to one of those, but that was kind of that moment for me, and I could see how that bringing that back for one more time would be pretty cool. Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen, but
yeah,
that's what, you know, if it were up to me, that's what I would do, and I would be there, and it would be awesome, and it would be great to have everybody kind of and make it, you know, inclusive, and not like, you know, a Taylor Swift concert where it costs $2,000 to get in. Like, make, you know, like do what it takes to make it accessible for everybody.
Yeah,
you know, and it'd be awesome. I mean, it'd be super fun, and everybody it could go out on a high note. Just celebrate everybody, and be able to get together one last time.
Yeah, because in some capacity, they're all still doing it, right? So it's not like
Yeah.
they can't right now. But
Yeah.
I
And
love that.
And it would be cool to bring all of them together. Like Bobby Figueroa and Ed Carter still
Yeah.
play with
Oh
Al.
yeah. Well, what
That'd be
about
cool.
Ricky,
Awesome.
Ricky and
Bring in
Blondie?
Ricky and a Blondie,
It'd be
like have
great.
them all there.
And they would do it.
Just
I mean, and
yeah.
everybody would do it. Just say like,
Yeah.
look, I mean, if it was one time, and it just to do it, I mean, it would make a ton of money.
Yeah.
And number two, I think everybody would have fun doing it.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
That'd be
But
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But
Maybe a Super Bowl show?
yeah,
That's too short. That'd be tough.
I'm just kidding.
that would be tough.
Yeah.
But
Football
yeah,
doesn't deserve
by
the
the time
Beach
they got
Boys.
on stage, it would be time to kick off again.
That's probably true. That's an awesome answer. Why? Giggins, unlimited budget, unlimited resources. You're in charge. What happens next? Either for you personally or for what you think is going to kind of bring the Beach Boys legacy the next step and get it to as many people as possible.
Honestly, to branch off what Melanie said before, some sort of anthology style, Beatles anthology style video series. Like we got that video like 20 odd years ago, Endless Harmony or whatever it's called. That was
Harmony.
good.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
It was great for its time. It's still good, but like so much more has happened in those last 20 years. And, their story is so important. It needs to be really well documented forever. Spreading love and sunshine to a whole new generation. Like it just has to be
Nice.
preserved because I don't think people understand how important their music was, how important they are to pop culture. And people associate little sound bites to their story and not the whole thing. There's nothing more irritating than seeing people online being like, Charlie Manson wrote songs for the Beach Boys. And I'm like, and it's like, just having their correct story put out, it would be hilarious because they're all going to have different stories. But they're all still here, or a lot of them are still here. Get it down on tape. Get Blondie, get Ricky, get the touring who are still here. Any living, breathing person who's associated with them, put their story on tape because sadly they're not going to be here forever, and those stories will go with them. And we don't need to know everything. There's stuff that they can keep for themselves, but like they need to have something that's for them and for us. So that would be the best if they can get like a group of hardcore fans to sit there and interview them or something. So like they ask actually good questions that like, how was making Pet Sounds? Was that a fun time? Did you enjoy that bass solo? Like, because interviewers suck. They don't know what they're talking about. They're never fans. Like, get people who are actually fans to do it.
Yeah.
The other thing I would do is re-release Smile on vinyl because I get that question all the time. They're like, where can I buy Smile? Where can I buy Smile? I mean, you can't.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'd put out Smile again. But yeah, some sort of video series because there's nothing more fun to watch and to discover a band than sitting down and watching some 20-hour long movie. It'd be great.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned Smile, and I'm thinking about like Get Back, like that kind of thing. Like Smile you could do a whole thing just on Smile and make it bring back the lore and the legend of it. I feel like some of that got put out a little bit when they released Brian Wilson Presents Pet Sounds and then the box set. It's like when the Cubs won the World Series. I talk about it a lot. It's like that kind of magic of being the lovable losers is gone. You know what I mean? Like the magic of being unreleased is kind of gone. If they could kind of build that up again, that was such a core piece of Beach Boy fandom, Mark Lynette's version or, the Smiley Smile message boards of like, the different, I loved everything about that. If they could, I think they could capitalize a lot on that in some way. But I love the idea of, because Endless for me, Matt and everybody here, I think I don't know what you guys think, but one of the earliest memories and thing that got me hooked was American Band. Was it American Band?
An American Band, yeah.
We had the VHS when I was growing up, and I just remember seeing Carl live playing from the TAMI show. It just like immediately I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen my entire life. Like, I am going to devote my life to this band, that kind of thing. And
there really was something magical about listening to them, like on the radio, on AM radio or
Yeah.
FM oldies channel, when I was a kid.
yeah,
And then getting that video and then actually seeing them
yeah,
and hearing them play. It really was
Yeah.
something amazing. You're right. There's still probably some of that magic out there in some sort of format,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
special.
Well, there's definitely video out there. I mean, I think there's stuff out there to be seen.
Can I can I interject a chat question? Because I think this
Well, we
is
got
important.
we want to get to Melanie before
Melanie,
that.
after Melanie though, I want to, if I could, yeah.
Okay, just remember the question. Melanie,
I got it.
blank check,
Got it.
unlimited resources.
Yeah.
Besides, you can say Funko Pop if that's your answer. But what would
Please
you
don't.
love? What would you love to see next from the Beach Boy community? That kind of thing. And Matt, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, Wyatt's answer is perfect.
It's so
I mean,
good.
that would
That was
be
a good answer,
incredible.
Wyatt.
Like,
Well, that's
yeah,
only
that would
because
be-
they went to me first. That's the easy one.
But,
He's like, please pick me first.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, okay, what could it be? Something to preserve the legacy and not be super selfish, so I can't like clone Brian Wilson for myself or anything
Ooh,
silly
I
like
didn't
that.
even think about that. Melanie, you
I
think
mean,
outside
that's
the box.
Obvious answer.
Somebody hire Melanie, please.
The obvious answer is cloning Brian Wilson.
Hello. No. But I think the most, so how like they have like the Titanic exhibit where they're like, it's a museum and it tours. How cool would it be if there was a Beach Boys like kind of touring exhibit, but not like those little rinky dink ones that you see sometimes. Like the Hall of Fame has like a little thing with like a shirt and a surfboard.
Sometimes, Melanie,
want-
the last time we went, they didn't have anything. So it's like,
It was
yeah,
brutal.
That's so sad.
Brutal.
No, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Sorry,
There's
I love
so
it.
much. I just there's so much to display and to show and to teach about this band, and I just feel like having some kind of either giant traveling exhibit or an actual brick and mortar. This is their museum. This is dedicated to them and the California sound. It's in Hawthorne, California.
Yeah. Melanie, I love that because Matt and I went to LA this past year, and one of the things that bothered us the most about, not to be negative, but it was like being in New York City and not seeing one Yankee hat. It was like, wait a second, how is it that we're in the home of one of the greatest American rock and roll bands of all time, and I have to like, there's just like nothing. There's like
You
no
have to
remnant
dig.
of it.
Even their Hollywood star was not near
yeah.
Capitol Records, where the Beatles was
Exactly.
right there. You know, it was
Right.
really
It's
depressing.
yeah. I mean, like I went to London, and it's like you can't go anywhere without seeing Beatles. Anything.
Sure,
I went to Abbey
sure,
Road, and
yeah.
it's like obviously, yeah, they're super proud of them, and it's like it's everywhere, and you feel it. It's like kinetic.
Yeah,
You go to
I love
Hawthorne,
that.
you would think like this is this is important. You get a monument, which is beautiful, and I love it, but that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems a little like this is where one of the most important bands has come from. This is their stomping grounds, and there's just like
Yeah.
it's just
even
devoid.
The Foster Freeze is like closed down and
closed,
like boarded
yeah.
up. That should be like
It
a little
is.
museum, you know?
It should have a blue plaque like they do in London, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. It
Sure.
drives me crazy. So
I know
Yeah.
those
yeah.
that. It's awful.
That's a great
Yeah.
answer, Melanie. And there's so much that can be done. I think, and then this is a question for another day, but it's like, where is the disconnect? Because we all know that the music is great. They have so much of it, so much great music. I mean, it's prolific. There's so many different eras of the Beach Boys, and their music is so influential. Why does that not, like, I just don't understand where the miss was, you know? I don't, like, what was it? But Matt, I'm sorry, you had a question from the chat, right?
Yeah, I don't I don't remember who said it now. It passed, but I remembered it in my head. It just, and we don't have to get in deep, but it's been coming up more and more, Greg, and we've talked about it on the show. But the idea of AI, what's your thoughts on AI with the Beach Boys, and is that something, you know, possibly for the future? I know that there recently was a whole Smile that came out AI version. Me personally, it doesn't move me the way like their real music does, you know, to hear what they did. But I was just curious about your thoughts on that. What do you think about that, Giggins? AI?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid, to be totally honest with you. Like it's there's zero creativity. There's zero like work when you type something into an algorithm and it farted something out. Like who cares? Like you did nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be used to help clean up stuff like they're doing for Now and Then for the new Beatles song. Like that could be used for something useful for that. But like I get sent links constantly of like, hey, imagine if Brian sang this Glenn Campbell song, or if this
Yeah.
like, I don't care. Like,
I
it's
don't either, you know,
not
and
a real thing. It doesn't move me, you know.
well,
Yeah.
I get scared that might be part of their future. And so I just hope it's not. I'm with you on that, but
It's confusing because if people don't tag it as such, people will hear these things and be like, "Oh wow, so John Lennon really did sing Maybe I'm Amazed. That's cool." You know,
yeah.
it's those things.
Melanie, you have any thoughts on AI?
Yeah, I do. I I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know, the whole like, oh, what if Paul McCartney sang, wouldn't it be nice? That's stupid. I don't,
Yeah.
it's stupid.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are very interesting to me, but only because I like to speculate, as in like, what if, you know, someone did an AI version of a really obscure Beach Boys track, Thank Him.
Mhm.
And
Oh yeah.
it was actually kind of amazing. I mean, you know, I'm like AI, whatever, da da da, da. But it was neat to see, like, okay, if this came out in 1963 and it had these background vocals and this is what happened, and the recording itself is like super, like, it's just so awful and you can barely hear it, but this person cleaned it up and it's like, wow, it's kind of amazing to hear that, like that would happen. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it would be so much cooler if someone just covered it rather than typing it into a computer and being like,
Yeah.
okay, sing it and make it this. I would prefer that. I'd prefer like a human being like, I'm gonna give it this emotion. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
really, I'm not a huge fan.
Wyatt, I think I know what you're gonna say, but what do you think about AI?
I mean, it scratches an itch every now and then for sure. Like Melanie said, that Thank Him is the only one that I heard that I saved because I was like, this is, you're never going to hear this. I mean, this is just one of the kind. Like, it's one of those songs that I've always loved. And to hear like this, you know, computer generated version, you know, it's definitely like moved me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and it scratched an itch is what I'll say. Like, and
Mhm.
you know, I mean, not to get into like the moral part of it or the ethics of it. I mean, but
Right.
I mean, it's not something that's going to replace real music for me or anything like that. But I think it's just an extension of fan mixes that
Right.
people have been doing for a long time. I mean, like you can like it or dislike it, but I mean, this is technology that's not going to stop. I mean, it's going to get better and
Yep.
it's going to be harder to discern what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And as long as people aren't, you know, pushing something that's fake as something that's real, then
Right.
I don't have any problem with it. I mean, I'm not going to fill my days listening to AI stuff, but it definitely scratches an itch and it's interesting to me. And it's a, I mean, it is like a whole can of worms because I mean, I like you said, you hope the Beach Boys don't get into it, but I would put money on they are going to get into it.
I'm afraid of that too. Yeah. And
The bottom line is it will make money.
yeah.
So they are going to get into it. I'm gonna just tell you right now.
Man,
They are going to get into it.
I'm
You
a-
don't think that 20 years ago that the Smile box set would have been
Right. We never
Sans
thought that would
AI?
happen. You're right. Yeah.
I'm telling you, if it came out, if we had this technology 20 years ago, we would have had an AI Smile already, and it would have been official, and it would have been, you know, signed off by everybody. You can hate it or love it. It's going to happen. So, and as long as the guys are alive and they sign off on it, I think it's going to happen. Like they're going to do stuff with their own voices. Like, I mean, I would, what if Brian did like a new album, but he wrote the songs, he sang it, but he used an AI model of him in 1965.
Mm.
What about that?
I'd buy that immediately.
You know what? I just said I didn't like AI, but if that was the case, I would buy that immediately. No doubt. Yeah.
All of a sudden things change.
I'm not saying it would sound great, but maybe in a couple of years it would.
I don't know.
And it was,
Who knows?
I think some of the stuff today is pretty amazing.
It's impressive.
It really is. There's a "Be My Baby" version of Brian singing "Be My Baby."
yeah, actually, Tiago
I love it.
Tiago was the one who asked the question. Thank you for that question, Tiago.
Thanks,
and he
Tiago.
actually put that in the chat. The "Be My Baby." That's what he talked about.
Yeah,
but,
and somebody I'm just looking at the chat now. Somebody brought it up. I mean, they already are using auto-tune anyway. I mean, it's not like
Yeah, I mean, this is just the next step. Like when auto-tune came out, this was the same exact thing that everybody went through and complaining and this isn't real music. And now it's like literally everyone uses it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I mean, I'm not going to be a dinosaur with this thing and pretend like, you know, like it's going to happen. I mean, we can like it or not. And I mean, I'm an audio engineer. Like my main living comes from making music, and I've already like see like a lot of people that are using AI in their production and stuff like that. And as long as, as long as you're not pretending to be someone you're not, then I have no problem with it. Go for it.
Sure.
I mean, there's still a lot of gray area as far as like the legal stuff, but YouTube just came out like a couple days ago and said they're going to do everything they can to support AI creations and do what they can to make sure that the artists get paid
Mm-hmm.
and et cetera, to make sure that, because it's not going to go away. It's going to be one of those things. If they don't support it and embrace it, it's going to be a new platform where they will, so that's
Thank
my
you.
opinion. As a creator, I look at it that way. Am I going to listen to AI stuff? Not really. I mean, it scratches an itch for me, and that's about all I can say.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like a novelty thing. Yeah. I mean, it's okay, but
right.
I just hope they don't, when they're long gone and want to keep it going. That's kind of the route they take.
Yeah,
That's what I'm afraid of, but
well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's another thing that we don't know. We haven't crossed that bridge yet. I mean, well, it's gonna happen though. I mean, there's gonna be bands that are gonna have albums with their singer that's dead, that's
yes.
singing on it. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Right.
I mean, it's probably already happening. It just hasn't been released yet, but it's gonna happen.
Isn't it is it ABBA that has like the hologram kind of thing going on where
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, eventually we're going to be able to go to Vegas and see the 1965 Beach Boys, right? Or like that iteration.
I mean, that would be
live,
cool.
I mean,
would be there.
Oh,
That
me
would be
too.
cool.
But I'd buy out every ticket.
I would go see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen, right? I mean, I feel like it's all coming. Matt, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping back in here. Did you has everybody been answered already?
Yeah, we
that
did.
question?
Yep.
I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you a quick one and then kind of more long-winded one, but one quick, one short, and we'll start with Melanie. Melanie, if you could, and here's the quick one. It doesn't have to be quick, whatever. But if you could spend a day with the Beach Boys that are still here today, spend like a day with them, like hang out, do whatever you want in person, ask them a million questions, or have an entire day to yourself in the Beach Boys like vault where they keep all of the anything you want to listen to that currently exists today, which one would you choose? And then number two is, could you talk us through a little bit each one of your creative processes? Like when you're about to, Wyatt, if you're about to put out a podcast, like an episode of your podcast, or Giggins, when you're looking towards what's your next YouTube video, and Melanie, what's your next Instagram post? What's the thought process? So number one, live Beach Boys or vault, and then can you talk us a little bit through your content or your creative process?
I'm picking vault.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay,
yeah,
let's do it.
I mean, I'd be like a kid in a candy store. There's just like, there's no thinking about that. That's obvious. Like,
Love it.
Yeah. I don't want the pressure of talking to someone. And then my creative process, I don't really have one. It's kind of spur of the moment for me. It's like I will throughout the day see something, or I'll hear something, or I'll watch something, and it'll inspire me. And from then I'll be like, well, this is what I want to post. This is what I want to do. Or I'll think of something. I don't know. I just wake up in a mood and I'll be like, I've got a lot of this crazy memorabilia. Let me make a post about it. Or it's like, I'm going to wear this outfit and correlate it to this album cover. Or it just kind of, I don't really put much thought into it. I know that's such a boring and like unglamorous answer, but I really don't. It's very just like what catches my fancy the day of or the day before, and I'll think about, oh, that'd be kind of cute. I'll do that, or maybe people want to see this. And yeah, I just try to keep it light and fancy. It's like I don't want to make it so curated that I seem untouchable. Please come talk to me like I'm just a normal person.
Well, I love that answer. It's almost and I probably don't do you a very good service by saying content creator. You're really an artist in a lot of ways, right? I mean, it's like it's art, and you have to be inspired, by something, and something will, like you kind of said, something throughout the day gets you excited, and then you decide to post about it. And I never thought about social media from that aspect. I've always been like got to post at this time, at this day, because this is when people watch. And then it's got to be, has these colors, which represent this. And then, you know what I mean? Like it's very mathematical, very calculated. Whereas I love that you're coming from the side of it from this is my art. This is like art for me. You know what I mean? And this is my book. And when you go to Melanie's Instagram page, which is at Your Summer Dream, right?
Yes.
You can see like this is my art collection. This is what I do, and hope you like. And I love that. I think that's so neat that it's not, because I think we all get overwhelmed with the calculated, ad driven, like, oh, it overheard me and my wife say something about Oreos, and now I'm getting spammed like Oreo stuff constantly. You know what I mean? And
Right.
your page is not that. You know, it's not.
Thank
It's
you.
not that kind of social media. It's a much more. It's a warm, creative, artistic environment. I love that. I love that answer.
thank you.
Sorry, didn't
I
mean to jump
appreciate
on that,
that.
but
No,
it's-
I really appreciate that. I try to make it just really personal because I'm just a normal person and I just like talking to people and connecting with other
Yeah.
fans. And I just want it to seem as like authentic as I could possibly make it, because I'm not one of those people who is very into, like, like you said, posting at this certain time and doing the certain thing. It's like, that's so much pressure. I don't need
Yeah.
imposter syndrome in my life. Like, I'm good,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that.
I don't know if I know your story about this, but you're so passionate about the Beach Boys. Before we go on, can you just tell everybody, when did you first hear them? Like, how did you become, a diehard like we are,
I first heard them when I know the moment. I was 5 years old and I was in a dance recital and we danced to Surfin' USA. Um,
video
Gr-
or it didn't happen.
I still remember the dance. I'll perform it one day.
Okay, perfect.
More content.
And it was very cute. But my parents played a lot. We had an oldies station here in the Bay Area called KFRC, and we would call and request songs, and my mom would always request Beach Boys for me because I really liked it. When I got older, I did that whole like, oh, I'm into the Beatles now. I don't care about the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah.
For like a number of years, and then as hormones started to change and depression started to become a thing, Pet Sounds found its way back to me, and I mean, it's just been
Oh yeah.
up and up ever
That
since.
was
So
it.
yeah,
Yep.
it just, it's really personal and it's beautiful music, and I love that their story. I love that these are people, and I love them all so much, but they are also real because they are also broken, and their story is
Yeah.
so, they're just damaged people, and I can relate to that, and I feel like a lot of people can, and they're not like these perfect, like, they're not
Mhm.
perfect. We all know their story. It's pretty much out there, and so it's very relatable, and it makes the music really relatable, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah, and there's the family aspect too. I didn't even think about that, but like, family is something we all know and understand. I think
Yeah.
That's an overlooked thing too. Thanks, Melanie. That was really nice. Giggins. Okay, Vault or live members today, and then can you talk us through your creative process? How you come up with your next new coloring book? YouTube video.
Yeah, I think I would do hanging out with them only if we were all crammed to a minivan and they're all in the back seat and their knees are touching and they're like, Giggins, Mike's touching my leg. Like, that would be perfect. We like have to go through a drive-through, it's just a disaster. That would be awesome. They're arguing over who puts the songs on the radio, that kind of stuff.
I'm picturing the Family Guy episode where Stewie gets
with
all
the
the
Star
Star
Trek,
Trek
yeah,
guys.
it'd be exactly like that. Yeah, like just having a nightmare of a day.
I
I think
love
that'd
it.
be, but
That'd be
probably Vault because like you just hear everything. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably that, unless the van was an option in this alternate timeline we're talking
That's
about. But
good. That's good. I love it. Okay, good answer.
Uh, as far as my process goes, I kind of just do what hits me in the moment, like Melanie said. Like, the whole reason why I started the YouTube channel was because I wanted to watch Beach Boys videos on YouTube, and everyone was talking about Pet Sounds, and I was like, I'll just make one about MIU because there isn't one, and I'll make one about Holland, and it spiraled from there.
Yeah.
So I like making videos about things that I don't see. And for things that I have seen, I just try to put a different bend on it or just come at it from a different perspective or offer a real conversational kind of tone. Because like you guys said, growing up on these different message boards or whatever, there's a lot of gatekeeper people out there that like have this tone and this level that like, I'm the Beach Boys guy. It's like, no, we're all the Beach Boys people. We're here for everyone. Everyone is a piece of this band. None of us own this band.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually just I'll look around my record collection and kind of go, oh, that's interesting. Like right now, I've got this sitting here, so this will get covered at some point.
Nice.
It's a promo copy. Look at that. This is free.
Wow. Oh, wow.
But
Wow.
Anyways, I know. Um, my hard flex there for you, but
that was a flex.
it's surprisingly it looks unplayed. I know that's hard to believe, but it's yeah. No, yeah, really. I like to post fun things and make them either kind of goofy or make them kind of just silly to watch because I think people take things too seriously sometimes and like there's times for that, of course. But it just needs to be fun. It needs to be exciting for me. I can't just go out there and talk about something because I have to do it like on a schedule. I mean, there are some albums by the Beach Boys I haven't talked about yet, and I won't for a very long time because like it's just been done. So it's I don't have to review Pet Sounds. Like it's just we all love that album. It's extremely special and personal. The end. I will at some point, but I just kind of follow where my heart goes and whatever speaks to me because that'll be the most interesting for me, which hopefully translates to everybody else watching. And someone once said to me, it's like hanging out in the basement, like playing records, chatting with you because I don't do up like 1,000 jump cuts and that kind of thing. So I just make it seem like we're all hanging out having fun because that's all I want it to be. I don't want it to be some special unattainable thing. Like, I hate gloating. I'm very humble. I'm just super down to earth. So I don't like to be like showy or whatever. So, yeah, that's my long-winded answer. There you go.
I love it. That was a good one. Good one.
Yes.
I am surprised that the Many Moods is not more played. That's amazing. That's like a mint copy. It's almost like no one ever put that on.
I think it's the original sleeve. Yeah, it does. It's got the original.
Jeez.
This sleeve is really cool actually because it's from late '66, so it's got yesterday and today up there, which you don't see too often.
Oh wow, cool.
That's kind of cool.
Giggins,
cool.
We just got copies in the mail that from George Faulkner. Have you heard of that one? He kind of redid some of the Murray Wilson's. Oh yeah, look at the cover. It's got the cartoon. It's pretty cool. So,
yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I had to.
I produced one of the tracks on that.
Wait,
did?
what? Seriously?
One of them.
Awesome.
Maybe I just sang on one of them. Is Tabarin on that one?
Yeah, it is. Okay,
I did all the vocals.
You're right here. Are you kidding me? Look at that.
Awesome.
Okay,
so
no,
cool.
George is the man.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. He's going to be on the show next month sometimes too. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to do.
He's the man. I love him.
I love him too. He's great. That album is amazing.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
Oh man, you guys are so hip to this. I have no idea.
See, Greg, they're way ahead of us, man.
I have so much George Faulkner swag.
I do too.
I have like stickers and.
Oh yeah, he gave us some of that too.
Murray Wilson coaster that I use.
I love it. Yeah, mine is worn out. I gotta get a new
It's
one.
amazing.
That's so cool.
So
we're gonna
good.
do a Murray Wilson show, and he's gonna come on for that. It's gonna be cool.
Oh, great.
Nice.
That's
He's
so
awesome.
So, speaking of Wyatt, so two questions. The quick question is, vault or hanging out in the back of a van with the current Beach Boys, or the vault. What would you pick today? And then your kind of how what's your process?
I don't know. I guess I'd do the vault. I mean, I don't know. Like Melanie, I don't really want to meet them. I'm scared of meeting them. Like I've had opportunities to meet some of those guys, and I've turned it down because I'm just kind of like, I don't want to catch them in a bad moment where I've heard that, they have some moments where they're not very personable, and I don't want that to be my only memory of meeting them. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, what am I going to say? Everybody said everything there is to say to them, and I'm not, and I also don't want it to color my opinion on, if I have a bad experience meeting one of them, I don't want it to be like, oh no, I can't listen to Deirdre ever again because Bruce is a jerk. Like
that would not be
which
a problem.
has happened.
I
mean, like it's things that stupid things that I think about, but I keep my distance, from the Beach Boys and anyone really like super close to them. I try and keep my distance from because I don't know. I just want to keep that purity in a way,
Man, I appreciate that.
So I'd take the vault, and also like the vault thing. I don't know. Like there's a few different. I know a couple people that have been in some vaults, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot that is still in the vault. I don't think there's a little bit, but I think
Wyatt,
the meat of it.
Totally killing it here.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a realist here. The meat of it, we've already got. I think, but there's probably some gems in there that people like us would care about.
They don't have like a 10,000 square foot vault for like MIU, right? I'm assuming. I would love.
Yeah, probably not. I mean. But yeah, so just to quickly answer the other question, I don't know, like I have a pretty easy framework as far as like the podcast, like everything is kind of chronological, and I mean, I do a lot of other stuff within that frame that is just whatever I want to do. But as far as like every first of the month, I post a new podcast. So it's always kind of what's next in the chronology of the Beach Boys. So, and then I do other things obviously on top of that, or like answer questions or have guests on and all that stuff, which is always great. But the main framework is really easy, and it keeps me, you know, in line and without getting too off track. But I also have a Patreon page, which is where I go off track and do all the weird stuff, and have other shows that are, you know, Beach Boys adjacent and stuff like that. And the reason I keep that separate, and I don't do any ads on the show or anything like that. And the reason I love all you guys so much too is that you guys aren't doing this for money. Like, this is not like something you do because like, oh, I got to post again today. It's 2:00. It's time to do a video.
Right.
The boss is calling. It's like, no, like, I love doing this. The moment I don't love it, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's so great about it. It's easy. I mean, like, it's the best. I mean, that's what makes it, that's what's so great about social media and YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that. You know, anybody can get into it. And it's hard to, you know, it's not to say it's not hard work, and it's like you have to be consistent at it, and you have to want to do it. But, you know, the reason that all of us are doing it is because we love it. I mean, it's that easy. And that's the main thing. It's like the moment that I don't love it and I'm not enjoying it anymore, I have no reason to keep doing it. Like, I'm not relying on it. I can just say, well, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'll either hand it off to someone else or just say that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, there's been moments when I felt like that, you know, everybody has bad days. They're like, oh my God, this just isn't fun anymore. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, it is. It's fun. You know, so it's fine. But the moment I don't want to do it, I won't do it. And that's what I think makes it so great. And that's what makes all your guys' content so great. I mean, I can tell that you guys really love it. Every time I see y'all, Giggins videos are just like always like make me smile, and Melanie's posts are just so authentic. And like, I met Melanie in real life, and it was just like, this is who you are. Like, this is, there's no, you know, there's no wall between your social media and your real personality. You know, it's just like, that's what's so great about this new era of content creation. It just to sum it up in that way. But
I love that answer. And what's the opposite of like, we extra love it. I mean, we lose quite a bit of money. It's pretty astounding how much.
I mean, it's awesome though, because like, I do have the tribute band, which like makes money. It's awesome. I wouldn't do it if it didn't make money, because it would cost a ton of money to travel that much.
Right.
You know, like, I have a mortgage, and you know, I can't afford to just go around playing music for free.
Right.
But the podcast is 100% a labor of love, and the Patreon is just so I can pay the guys that work for me. And like, you know, like, I really like don't make much money at all on it. It's pennies, and I have a blast doing it. And like, you guys do a great job, and I hope that everybody in here makes money doing stuff, you know, that they love. And I know that there is times when we are all approached about making money doing stuff. But I know that everyone in here wouldn't do something that wasn't already natural and that's something that they love for money. Like, we wouldn't change what we're doing for money. That's just, you know, and like, shout out to Giggins for the coloring book. I mean, that's incredible, but that's like all because you are a passionate person who like shows day in, day out how much you love this band. And like, it's 100% earned. And I know Melanie had some recent posts that were like official Beach Boys related posts. I mean, it's like, that's real. I mean, they're doing a great job of finding you guys, because that's what's going to make the brand relevant, is like finding people that are actual fans and in the trenches like we are, you know? So that's great. And hopefully like we can all find an avenue to make money doing it in the future. But it's great to know that it's all 100% authentic, and that we're not doing it to make a dollar. So,
man, what a great answer, and a kind of great way to kind of wrap things up. Although I will say, Wyatt, I don't know what you're paying your camera person right now, but they're doing a fantastic job. I mean, that thing is moving with your head. How are you doing that?
It's the iPad. It has the new feature where like it follows you around. It's like the camera just is like
that. I was like, who is holding the camera for you? Like, what is going on?
Man.
He's like, I'm not making any money, as he's being fanned and has somebody holding the camera.
I have it.
Do you need a water, Mr. Funderburk? Water.
Somebody's doing my makeup.
Yeah,
what I-
exactly.
I would normally be in my studio, but like my whole house is being painted this week. So like we're leaving the country tomorrow, and like the painters are coming, and like so everything is like in the middle of every room. So it's kind of a disaster in here right now. So I'm like in my bedroom, like with my iPad and my phone like blaring me in the face with a light, and it's like
what I'm telling you,
that's the
it all
glamour.
works. It's working.
Couldn't tell,
All right,
yeah,
well,
that's
pretty
amazing.
great.
I feel like underprepared for this. But
No, this was awesome. Hey, can you each go around real quick one more time and tell us, where we can find you? Tell everybody, because this will be on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and we'll promote it. Tell everybody. We'll start with Melanie. Tell where we can find you, and maybe what do you have anything planned? Like what's next? What's kind of the next thing on there? And it's okay if you don't have anything right now. I'm putting you on the spot. But Melanie, where can we all find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Your Summer Dream. You can also find me lurking in dark caves of record basements.
tiki bars.
Yeah, tiki bars, always there. And I don't, yeah, exactly. I don't know if I have anything. I mean, again, like I say, I don't plan anything, so I'm like,
right.
I'm kind of thinking about it. I already did a Sherry Holt post before, and I'm thinking about doing another one because I have a lot of Sherry Holt Beach Boys paraphernalia, which is like kind of my favorite thing ever because we are part of the Kokomo generation, as Wyatt said. So all that 80s like Beach Boys stuff is so amazing.
Great, yeah.
So I'm like, I might gather some things and just kind of show off my little collection of that stuff. But other than that, yeah. You'll just see more tomfoolery from me on Instagram.
Love it. Your Summer Dream on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, make sure you we'll make sure we post some stuff on our page as well to connect with you, Melanie. Giggins?
YouTube.com/Giggins for my videos, like the long form videos. I'm on Instagram. I have a TikTok that I kind of use sometimes, and I'm on Threads because that was a thing for 10 minutes.
I don't know what that is. I thought that was the closed, like the subscription thing where you get like a shirt in the mail and they're like, try this thing.
No, it was Instagram's way of being like, we're gonna make Twitter, and they made Threads. So yeah, it's
I remember that.
Yeah, remember Threads?
Those are the good old days.
We're not even cool enough to know what that is.
You're not missing anything. It's
Okay.
kind of a
all right, good to know.
quiet place. Everyone's just reading books. But no, as far as like what I'm working on next, I think my 400th album review is coming out pretty soon.
All right.
Whoa.
Let's
Congratulations.
This is the debut of the new studio. I'm in a new place now.
Whoa. Oh, nice.
And I shaved, so that's a big announcement.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to say something.
Too.
You look great, man. Love it.
Thank you. I look like I'm 26 again.
Oh, you do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect.
But no, that's the biggest thing. It's just keeping up with album reviews, and there's always I'm gonna probably do something with David Leaf at some point.
Nice. Great.
And the ESQ guys and all that stuff. So like there's more. It's been a weird flux period for the last couple months with moving.
Yeah.
I'm very private. But,
the coloring book was a big deal too. I'm sure that took up some of your time too.
Yeah, that's coming out in September, a couple weeks actually, and that was the best. I won't go into a whole long thing, but the great people at Fantunes reached out and they wanted to see if I can help, and we put this thing together. I'm looking at it right now. It's just like I can't believe it's real.
It's fantastic.
So I trademarked the Giggins name, which is kind of cool.
There
so
you go.
That was fun.
All right.
That's the biggest thing. So there you go.
Nice.
Congratulations on that, for real. It's awesome,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
Really cool
Thanks.
stuff.
It's a lot of fun. Just doing it for keeping the summer alive.
Wyatt, where can we? Wyatt, where can we find you today? And Wyatt, the podcast, you're still putting out new episodes, right?
Yeah, every first of the month.
Oh, fantastic. So
I haven't missed one in a couple of years. So,
all right.
Well, I mean, I miss one every now and then, but I usually have some sort of filler in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sunflower Part 2 comes out on September 1st.
Love it.
Check that out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. If you're watching this, you already know about the podcast, so maybe give it another shot if you don't listen to it at the moment. But Sail On, if you just search Sail On, it'll pop up. And then if you want to come see my tribute band, aka Beach Boys Stolen Valor, the Sail On live show, you can just check out sailon.com/tour.
Nice.
And we just got done with the busiest part of the year, but we're still playing a lot. Like we're actually in Washington State next week.
Wow.
I'm going to Spain tomorrow, and then I'm coming back doing 2 shows in Georgia and then in Washington State for one day.
Sheesh.
So it's an
Dang.
absolute bizarre time for me. But
Yikes.
yeah, just
Rock
check
and
out
roll.
the podcast and yeah, all the other stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to
Instagram, whatever.
I'd like to speak for that podcast. I have to take some trips. I drive to Nashville a few times a year.
They're
About
great.
11.5 hour drive, and I put those on, and it makes the time go fast. And they're really fascinating. They delve deep into everything. Session musicians, what they were thinking when they wrote it. Really
yeah.
amazing stuff. So if you haven't heard those, check them out. They're a
Well,
must-have
Thanks.
for Beach Boy fans. Yeah.
and it, kind of in that same vein, my brother and I want to thank each and every one of for joining us tonight, but for all the content you do create. It's wonderful, it's inspiring, and I really mean that. With this show, Wyatt, the podcast, the YouTube, the Instagram stuff, it's all very inspiring to come up with new shows and new show ideas. I think we all, I'll speak for us. I won't speak for you, but I think for us, we get really inspired by that stuff, and it gives us show ideas and helps us with the confidence of knowing, hey, there's other people doing this too. We can keep going. It's okay. It's cool to do it. So, thank you for coming on, Melanie, Giggins, Wyatt. What an honor to have you on. I mean, you are the heavy hitters. You are the all-stars of our community, and it's just a huge deal to have you on tonight. I really mean that. So everybody, please, if you're on tonight, if you're watching, if you don't watch live, if you're watching after the fact, please go check out Melanie, Your Summer Dream on Instagram. Fantastic page. Giggins on YouTube, and of course, Wyatt with the Sail On podcast and the Sail On band. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. It was really a pleasure.
For having me.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
Yeah,
having
my
Really
pleasure.
It was awesome.
I couldn't imagine a better group of people. I'm not
This was
saying
fun.
that. You
This
guys
was
are the
really
best.
fun. This was
Thank
a
you.
good time.
I'm so
It's-
honored to be on here. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
really cool to see everyone chatting about the Beach Boys and cheering each other on, because that's like a new thing for this community, and I love seeing that. So
Yeah.
thanks for having us on, and love hanging
Thanks
out.
for facilitating, Matt
yeah.
and Greg.
Thanks-
Appreciate you guys.
This
Oh,
was,
yeah.
This was
Thanks
really
for
fun. Yeah.
Do it again sometime.
Yes. for
Let's
sure.
conspire to do more things.
Yeah. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Would love it. Okay, everybody. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Brother Matt, that might be one of my favorite shows we've ever done. That was really fun.
I could have kept talking to them for a long time, not just their talent with the content, but again, Wyatt kind of said it, but Mel, well, all of them did, just fans first,
Yeah.
and it's pretty interesting to see when you're a real diehard Beach Boy fan, what you can do when you get a little push, so I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Oh, just some of the ideas tonight were so great. I love Melanie's idea of like the Funko Pops, and like it's just untouched, untapped territory, that the Beach Boys could go into. Now, obviously, there's the money component, but they're just so creative. You know what I mean? In a perfect world, I would love if like the folks at Iconic and would do more with these folks. Do more with Wyatt. Do more with Melanie. Do more the Beach Boys. Do more with Giggins, because they're great. They're great thinkers. They're so creative, and
there's people right out there that are ready to and willing to do what we all want to see as fans. You know what I mean?
You don't need to look very far. Just
Yeah,
like you have
exactly.
these resources here that are already doing the work.
Yeah.
And imagine if they had a little bit, some resources behind them to really
Yeah.
kick it into gear. I mean, can you imagine as a Beach Boy fan, if we were to come out tomorrow and say, hey, everybody, the new head of the Beach Boys with Iconic and Universal is Giggins, Melanie, and Wyatt, we'd all be over the moon, or any one of
Everybody would
them,
feel so comfortable. Yeah.
It'd be like, oh, I cannot wait to see what Melanie has in store next, for the next kind of Beach Boys release or the next video or whatever. It would be it'd be really fun.
And they really do give three different kind of things. Melanie to me kind of is the pop culture, Beach Boys pop culture, right?
Yeah, have you seen
Giggins is
her
like
Instagram page is great.
Yeah, and Giggins is like the reviews. Like if you're reading a review, you trust what he says.
Yeah.
And Wyatt's more like the deep the kind of the deep, like we claim we're not that, right? We're not historians and experts, but Wyatt's podcast, that's what that is.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you want to
Dude.
hear everything there is to know about an album and a track.
The poor man's poor man's
all
version.
three of them were the poor. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We are the poor man's version of what that podcast is.
But they kind of hit
by
that
the way, is awesome.
triple threat there. You know, it's pretty cool. So
yeah, it is that was not super planned. We can't take too much credit for that, but it ended up being a really fun, real fun group there that I think connected in a really unique way. Like I said, I was having so much fun, man. It was of all the guests we've had, that's one of my
got that
favorites.
together.
Right,
it was very good. Yeah,
that was good. So next week. We are going to welcome on another panel, and same kind of thing, content creator focused, and part 2 of our content creator show. So it's going to be really fun. If you enjoyed tonight, you're really going to enjoy next week as well. And then I think we've got a couple more episodes, and then we're done for the year, Matt. I think we'll do our season finale, which, fingers crossed, I think we've got a pretty awesome guest. So we're really excited.
We still have a little bit left in the bag for the rest of the season.
We
here.
do.
Don't you all worry.
I
yeah.
think we have. We've got maybe. We got maybe 5 more episodes, or 5 or 6 or something like that. So we're getting there, but it's been really fun. Matt, what do you think? We want to end tonight, or what do you want to do?
Well, you know, I think we can't get away without, you know, you got to play a couple of songs. I think that's what you're known for, what we're known for. So.
Yeah. Folks, if you're having fun tonight and you want to, the piano bar is open. We are live. If you'd like to hear a song, you want to dedicate it to somebody or anything like that. If you want to hear a song, put it in the chat. We'll, if we know it, we'll play it. It'll be pretty fun. And while you're doing that, Matt, what was your, have any favorite answers tonight from any of the questions?
I think Giggins' answer, I know it was kind of a little tongue in cheek, but when he said, I got his point about if he wanted to be with the Beach Boys, it would have to be, you know, them in the van, you know, arguing, he's touching me, all that stuff. I thought that was funny because I got what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know,
in a really vulnerable moment.
Yeah, like real, you know, not I'm a fan and you're a superstar, you know. But to be real, they all had really great answers. Wyatt's answers were all really thoughtful. He's real humble in the fact that I thought what he said about not wanting to meet your heroes is pretty amazing too, you know.
He said that last time he was on.
Yeah, he did.
I almost wish I could go back and have a redo of like anybody I really, really was a fan of and like not meet them, you know?
Yeah,
it does,
same.
I don't know that there's any situation where it's better than what you thought, you know? It's just,
and I loved Melanie's, just her enthusiasm for the band, you know. I just think it's fascinating, you know. It's, you know, so every all of it was great. I can't wait to rewatch it, you know, because, you know, when you're in the heat of it, you kind of miss some stuff. So I can't wait to listen to it.
Matt, one of the first songs I saw was Imagination. I love that song. Can we do that?
Okay. Ed Bennett said, are you guys going to do a singles part 2? We had some requests for that. I think
we should do that.
We will. Yep.
We will. That was really fun.
I mean, we only got to like 1969 or something.
It was, yeah, we did not get very far, but that was a really fun show.
The second half will be a lot quicker though. They had a lot of singles in the 60s. All right, Imagination, Brian Wilson, 1998 album.
All right, we got a request for Your Imagination from the Imagination album. That came out in 1998. 1998. This is for, I forget who this was for. Some Roses or something Roses? Another walk in the, hold on. There we go. Another car running fast, another song on the beach. I take a trip through the past when summer's way out of reach. Another walk in the park when I need something to do. And when I feel all alone, sometimes I think about you. Take my hand, smile and say you don't understand. To look in your eyes and see what you feel, and then realize that nothing's for real. 'Cause you know it's just your imagination running wild, running. bucket of sand, another wave in the pier. I miss the way that I used to call the shots around. You know it would have been nice if I had something to do. I took a trip to the past and got to spend it with you. Take my hand, smile and say you don't understand. To look in your eyes and see what you feel, and then realize that nothing's for real. 'Cause you know it's just your imagination running wild. Your imagination running wild. I really like that album a lot. That's my
Yeah, it's
favorite.
very
That's my
nice.
favorite Brian Wilson album ever.
It's good, nice vocals on there. South America's good song.
South America.
Lay Down Burden, nice songs on there.
Sherry,
hey.
Sherry, She Needs Me. That's a nice one.
Sherry, She Needs Me. How about, I think this is important. So, how about you either play Lahaina, Aloha, or Hawaii in honor of all the people in Maui?
Oh, I would love to.
Or if they have, or you could play Kona Coast. I know you don't like that one from MIU, but that's kind of a
No,
Hawaiian
thank
song
you.
too.
No, thank you. But I can't stay. Girl, you know I'm gonna say.
Sail away when the sun goes.
Let's do it.
Wind goes up. Great Carl vocal.
Where the sea breeze meets the palm trees, paradise awaits and so does she. We live in love like a romance from a page in history. It was the last place that he stopped at on the way back to his boat. She was dancing, man is glancing, like they say it was all she wrote. You know I want you, but I can't stay. Girl, you know I'm gonna sail away when the wind comes up and when the sun goes down. I'll say goodbye to this Hawaiian town. Head over where the full moon shines. You and I are always on my mind. They left the dance floor so they could spend more precious time near the waterside. It was wrong, it wasn't right. They were two ships passing in the night. You know I want you, but I can't stay. Girl, you know I'm gonna sail away when the wind comes up and when the sun goes down. I'll say goodbye to this Hawaiian town. Goodbye to you when the full moon shines. Lahaina always on my mind. Yeah.
Praying for all of you out there, all the families there,
Yeah.
and everybody
Yeah,
that's
tough stuff.
been hurt by what's going on.
Tough
Yep.
stuff. From the Summer in Paradise album, Beach Boys, 1993. Wait, was it 1993?
92, I think. But you're whatever.
1992.
Don't need to, close enough. All right. How about we close it out, Greg, with we already
Okay.
played a Dennis tune. How about we play a David Marks tune? And what I mean by that is maybe something from one of the albums he performed on. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, can I do one
In
of
honor
my,
of his
my
birthday.
favorites from those albums?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Play something in honor of his birthday. Why not? He played on the first 5 albums, I believe. So he was there for all the beginning, So thank you, David. Hope you're enjoying your birthday today. And he was on our show. That was awesome. So catch
He was
that
on our
too.
show.
Yeah, that was cool.
rocked.
Yeah, it did.
There's a world where I can go and tell my secrets to in my room. In my
They're beautiful, brother. How about the fact that David Marks, for no matter what happened, he left the band. He can say he played on In My Room. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
What would you give for that, right?
I mean,
Just
he could say he played on. I mean, Surfer Girl. Like what?
I mean, a lot of them, but it's like, nothing to be ashamed of at all. Amazing. So
No, he's not. It's not the same thing as like. I think a lot of folks put him in the category of like someone who shoulda, woulda, coulda, or like left the band just before they blew up. But it's not really the case. Like, I mean, he was on a ton of their really good records. I mean,
and he was there from the beginning when they kind of
Yeah.
honed in their sound and created that classic Beach Boy sound. He was there
Yeah.
for that.
well, happy birthday
Yeah.
to
Big 7'5". Yep.
to David. Yeah. We were very lucky and honored to have him on the show with us. That was a really special night. So,
Yes.
all right, everybody, we love you. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday night. Thank you again to Melanie, Your Summer Dream, Giggins on YouTube, Instagram, and Threads, whatever that is, and Wyatt of Ceylon. Love you, brother. We'll see you guys next week.
Good.